On Iran's dispatch of ballistic missiles to Moscow revealed this week had changed strategic thinking in London and Washington. It was a significant, dangerous escalation. You think? I mean, that's such a weird thing to say. Obviously, like, Russia already has ballistic missiles. Like that they operate themselves. Said some stuff. He said a lot of things. So recently there was talk. Talk by NATO countries that obviously been supplying Ukraine with all sorts of fancy to resist the onslaught of Russia. But recently, obviously, the goalposts keep shifting in terms of like what's an appropriate non-escalatory level of NATO involvement in the and it keeps growing. What was impossible like at the start of we've already surpassed like a year ago.
They went into Kursk, which was meant to be a red line.
But that's fine. That's just Ukraine invading. I think like as the real question is like how much is NATO making this happen? How much and obviously Putin's whole angle is that it's a proxy, and like that plays well with his demographic. The more with his base, like the more NATO does this, he's like, we'll see. This is just NATO fighting Russia.
Yeah,
and that's why this was a whole year was necessary. But anyway. Oh no, look, we got it. West's move to let Kyiv use long range against targets inside Russia would mean NATO would be at war with Moscow.
But haven't they already done that? Isn't that the HIMARS?
Yeah, but the HIMARS don't go into Russia. The HIMARS are just
didn't they hit Crimea with them?
Oh, they hit the Crimea River, the bridge.
Crimea River, no, and the airport and stuff. They
hit the
airport. They struck targets at the airport in airport. I thought, but
well. I guess Putin admits that Crimea is not Russia. If he hasn't started a nuclear for that, I'm sorry. Novorossiya is turns out it's just old Ukraine.
Yeah.
According to Putin. But remove limits on HIMARS so they can or just any kind of ballistic missiles to shoot into Russia, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know, like the more you kind of expand it, like the more credence you give to Putin's argument. It's kind of just like, I don't know if the Ukrainians have the capabilities to all the signals intelligence and even just using these like ballistic missiles. I don't know if they can do that as acting like sovereignly just as themselves. Like you have to have at least like foreign advisors, and so apart from the fact that these are foreigners as well. I don't know. That's a freaky thing to think about. That you got some German engineer running these missiles like landing in Moscow.
That's already happening.
Yeah.
It's
Crimea is Turkish.
Scroll down.
US European countries are at war with Russia. If that's the case, then taking into account the change of nature of the conflict, we will take the appropriate decisions based on the threats that we will face. The decision on whether NATO countries are directly involved in the military conflict or not. I mean, I feel like that decision's been made 100 times. It's just he has to just keep putting in new red lines and then backing away from them when they get breached.
Well, and again, like if we go back to the debate, I don't know how useful it is. It just points to how infuriating everything is. But when they brought up Ukraine in the debates, I think the question they asked Trump was like, "Do you want them to win?" And he was like, "I don't want any more or anything like this." But it's just like, "Do you want them to win?" We want them to win. We'll do whatever's necessary for them to win. All this stuff is just like everything.
How far are you going to go?
Because you're going to have to do... If you actually want them to win, then you're going to have to do a whole lot more than you are now. Invasion. And do you want to deal with those consequences?
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the actual trajectory for Ukraine to win?
How do they win? Because apparently they're being pushed back in Kursk already now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Russians are doing a counter in Kursk, and they're going back. So it's like, you're going to have to go further. Or do we not want to deal with that, and let's fucking make a deal?
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, what I'm assuming the kind of deep state or whatever the Democrat position on Ukraine is just to tire Russia out.
I just keep it going.
Just sacrifice as many Ukrainians as you need in order to sacrifice as many Russians as you need, and then just kind of just like pull them both into a pit. That's the kind of goal.
Well, then that's funny enough. It's not working.
No, it is.
What do you mean? Russia's not being exhausted or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like Russia's doing fine. And it's just pushing Russia closer to China. Which is...
But that's why I like the Democrats. Because if Trump were to end there, I think there's so many pretty much all the libs in Russia are, super, and they love America.
Oh yeah.
So I think that there is a demographic. There's like a demographic that really wants like rapprochement with the West and they don't want to deal with Chinese people. They think that they're Europeans. They think they're superior. So I think what scares me about this peace that Trump is proposing is that if he actually, reaches out to Russia, there's a big group of people who are like, thank God we don't have to be friends with Chinese people.
I don't think he can ever go back to.
Yeah, I hope not.
Well, I would actually really like to know what the hell Trump would do.
I think it's completely in America's hands. Because Ukraine, I mean, even before this, couldn't exist in any way without US backing.
But again, it's not just the US; it's the Europeans as well. Like the Germans are doing a lot to back it and stuff like that. And like this has almost been more. A lot of the US approach has also been to. It hasn't just been against Russia; it's been against Europe. To be like, you can't deal with Russia.
Yeah.
Stop this thinking that you can play both sides and act independently. You need to pick a side, dickhead.
Yeah.
And they've been forced to pick this side.
So I think you had the same thing. Sorry.
I was just going to say, even if Trump came in, would it be more like he just wants the Europeans to take over this more and there's less direct?
That's the rhetoric. But I feel like, I don't know. So when the Maidan coup happened, the Europeans had solved it. In a sense, they had their own procedure, which was they wanted to keep Yanukovych in power, and they had an agreement between him and the opposition to end it. And the Americans went through with their own plan instead, so they went over the head of the Europeans. Like, I don't think the Europeans are any actual actor in this. Like, I think without the Americans, the Europeans can't hold Ukraine up.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and also I think part of this,
paper tiger.
And like also part of this pressure on the Europeans to send arms and stuff like that. That's also just so that they have to buy American arms.
Yeah, they have to buy American arms.
It's just recycling.
And also it's it's spreading the culpability as well. Like, it's the same thing with NATO.
Willing.
Yeah.
The EU.
Yeah. Who is imposter Alex? This is Alex. He does this weird editing in the videos where he tries to make himself look uglier for some reason. But this is what he normally looks like. Sexy Alex.
Hell you going? I'm Broden Kelly. No, I'm Alex. I did a thing.
I did a thing.
I did a thing.
This is Alex's brother Lucas. Alex is usually on stream, but he's finishing up an IDAT video that he has to get out in the next 2 days.
He's away at the moment.
He's away. How old is Lucas? 17.
I'm 17. Yeah.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, that's the story. Iran's dispatch of ballistic missiles to Moscow revealed this week had changed strategic thinking in London and Washington. It was a significant, dangerous escalation. Do you think? I mean, that's such a weird thing to say. Obviously, Russia already has ballistic missiles. That they operate themselves. Be like, okay, well, we're gonna have to fight Iran too. We didn't want to do that. The escalator here is Putin. Putin has escalated with a shipment of missiles from Iran. We see a new axis of Russia, Iran, and North Korea.
It sounds awfully a lot like the axis of evil.
Yeah. Well, no, the axis of evil had Libya in it.
Was it? Iraq, North Korea, and Iran.
Yeah. Iraq, North Korea, and Iran. Libya wasn't part of the axis.
No. Iraq, they're done with. Get Russia in there.
Yeah.
Get